Hello everyone, it's Luz with Love here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are doing a speed build of a tiny home, which is actually my dream tiny house. Now this is the second tier tiny house, the 64 tile one, and it's actually exactly 64 tiles. Now before we get into the video, let me just make two disclaimers first. Firstly, this is my first time making a voiceover, so if I stutter, if I'm just awkwardly quiet for a while, you know why. And second, this isn't the moment where I stutter and I don't know what to say. What was the second disclaimer? Oh yeah, I know. The second disclaimer is that I'm using the Sims 3 camera here in this video, but I'm actually using it for like the third time. And that's because I usually use the Sims 4 camera for my builds and then switch to the Sims 3 camera when I need to rotate objects. But since I didn't want to bother you in the speed build with going into the settings like 10 times when I need to rotate something, I thought I'll just do it the whole thing with Sims 3 camera, which it's still a work in progress, guys. I'm gonna get better at it, okay? Anyways, now let's talk about the build. So I am kind of inspired by a tiny home that I saw on YouTube here, but that one was a garden build and it was a family home and it was kind of bigger, and I wanted to make it smaller just for myself and my partner and make it in Sulani because Sulani is such a beautiful world. Love to live there. So you have now seen me do the most of the outdoor build of the house, and now I'm moving on to the landscaping. Now, I'm no biologist, but I know that those plants would probably not be growing out of sand. But let me have that dream, okay? It's my dream tiny house and I want a lot of plants. And that's honestly my key to landscaping. It's just like put down a ton of plants and it will look good. It may not look realistic, like it doesn't look realistic here, but I love the way it looks. So let's imagine this is some kind of an oasis where plants grow out of sand. And once that is done, I believe we should be moving on to the inside in a second. I just really love this location in Sulani. It's so beautiful. I would love to live someplace like this. Yeah, I was just adding some rocks to the landscaping. Oh yeah, and now the hanging plants. So I did this little like canopy in the back, and I put some plants on top so that it looks like a little jungle at the back of the tiny home. And then I wanted to add the hanging plants on the sides, but they were somehow clipping to the house and not the little gazebo thing. So I spent like 2 minutes just trying to place those two plants. But anyways, it went well. I managed to do that, and now I decided to place some of them as well from the front because the house looked a little bare from over there. And I actually decided to use them as like outdoor curtains for the windows that I added there. And soon you probably should see me change the wall color actually, because I wasn't happy with that. I think I'm using a bowling night sliding there, but now I'm changing it to a darker one and a little bit of stone for the main part of the house. I just thought my phone shut down as I was recording this and I almost got a heart attack. Anyways, now we are getting on to the inside. I love that tile for the bathroom. That is like, if I ever have a tile like that in my house, I'm gonna be so happy. And I was figuring out the doors for quite a bit because this is a small house, and if I had the sliding doors, they take up 2 tiles, right? So this living space in the middle would basically turn out to just be a hallway if I used those sliding doors for all the rooms. But I think I figured it out in the end. It took a while, but I figured it out. So first I thought I would have like a spandrel into the little home office, but you'll see me change that in a while, as well as you'll see me change the sliding door into the bedroom. So now I am moving on to do the kitchen, and the kitchens are always the hardest part for me because we have so few counters in the game, so it always takes me so long to figure out how I want to use them so they look good and so they don't look like every single kitchen, So I originally thought I was just going to do it on one side, but then I realized that's not enough kitchen space. I cook a lot and this is my dream tiny house, so I want more kitchen space. So I thought I would do the Parenthood fridge and stove, but then I actually realized that I do have Jungle Adventure in my game, and then there's the really cool Jungle Adventure fridge and stove. So I added those instead, and then you'll see me kind of starting to move the kitchen as well to the other side. So it's like you walk in, there's like a little entrance part, but you walk in straight into the kitchen. But I will add like a coat hanger by the door so it doesn't look that odd, like walking straight into the kitchen. Yeah, here you can see me realizing that the door won't work, so I actually added this base game door that they added last summer for the summer expansion. And I love these bowling night. Are they bowling night? I think they're bowling night, those stools. And I actually decided to go for touches of orange, which I didn't thought I would do that. I thought I would do touches of green, but then I was like, yeah, I do actually quite like the orange. So I added a sofa with little orange cushions on it as well. And for the TV, I originally thought I would do the tiny living sets, but what's annoying about them, they just don't match. There's no dark wood swatch, there's only like that dark-ish wood swatch. So there was nothing that matched the beautiful window looking outside or like the sliding door. So that in the end, I actually ended up using Jungle Adventure. What are they? Like cabinets kind of thing? I don't know. You can see them, you know what they are. Let me know in the comments what you call these, because I don't know what to call them. And I used the little table from bowling night as like a little side table. I was changing my mind a couple times about the color of the counters, but I stuck with the one that I chose originally. And yeah, here you can see me add like a little entryway with a nice coat hanger and a little seat and a plant that I will add in a second. So I really liked how that entranceway kind of turned out, because it is in the kitchen, but it is sort of its own separate area, you know. So then I realized that I was still missing the sink, and I actually added white counters over the kitchen because I always like to draw the eyes upwards with that. So I thought that was a really nice touch. And some little kitchen clutter. I do not like my spaces too cluttered, but I wanted to add some so it doesn't look that bare. And in my kitchens, I always add the paper kitchen towels when I build in The Sims, but in real life, I don't use them. So I almost instinctively put them in my dream kitchen, but then I realized, oh wait, I wouldn't want them in my dream kitchen. So I just added some cookie jars, because you can never have enough cookies, and like a little bread thing and a bowl of fruit. So now I just decorated the living area a little more. I wanted to add a rug. I'm not much of a rug person, but I really like this one. So I was trying to make it work. I spent quite a bit of time trying to make it work, but yeah, I then decided to size it down like that. And then I wanted to add some paintings into the kitchen, and I went for a little plant pot hanger first, but you're gonna see me change that later on, because I'm gonna change my mind. And now I'm just adding a little clutter to the TV area and to the living space. So I wanted to use that, monster statue from Vintage Glamour, but then I decided to go with something else because the statue was kind of obstructing the TV, and I wouldn't want that. So I added a little bit of clutter, some books, a lot of plants, because I love plants. And one of my favorite tricks actually is to add a little decoration piece, like the little dog from Cats and Dogs, and size it down. So there's like a little statuette and not like a huge statue. So yeah, I added some clutter to the little table there. I think I'm gonna add a lamp to it later on, but I didn't figure that out yet. Yeah, what else? Yeah, I'm adding English. Come on, Lucy. I'm adding some paintings, and that's the painting I went for in the kitchen. I absolutely love that kids' room stuff painting. I would love that in my kitchen. So now moving on to the bedroom, I added, I was kind of experimenting with the beds. I wasn't sure what I wanted, but then in the end, I do settle for the island living bed because it's absolutely glorious and I love it, and I didn't like any other bed in its place. And I did actually end up deleting 2 of the 4 windows in that room. or like one of them I substituted for a smaller one of them I deleted, because there were just too many windows in this space. And I really wanted to use that island living chest of drawers and not the tiny living one, because the tiny living one just didn't go with the bed at all, and nothing else went with the bed at all. So I just used a smaller window for that. Yeah, you'll see me put it down now. A smaller window for that wall. And I decided to paint the room like a brownish pink. It's like I see it as a little touch of pink. I don't know. Does it seem pinkish to you guys? To me it seems like a pinkish brown. And I added one of my favorite paintings, which is this one from, is it from Get Famous? I think it's from Get Famous. And I actually decided to scoot the bed over. By the way, guys, if at any point the lights were annoying you, I just got the idea to size them down now, as you see. But yeah, for quite a bit of this video, the subtle saucer lights were full-sized and they were like in the way. I'm so sorry about that. I just got the brilliant idea to size them down now, like halfway through the video. But yeah, sorry about that. That will never happen again. Yeah, just adding some clutter in the living room. I love those wooden floors and I love those woods in the island living furniture. Again, I added like a sized down decoration, the little bunny. Yeah, I love doing that with decorations, sizing down plants and sizing down decorations to fit them onto smaller tables. And now I'm moving on to the office, and that was a pretty quick choice to choose that tiny living desk set, because I absolutely love that one. I also really love this bowling night lamp, which I usually use it sized down. Like 90% of the time I put it down, I size it down. And I always use it with this tiny living desk. Anytime this tiny living desk is in my build, the lamp goes with it. And I wanted to add a little bit of a chest of drawers as well in the home office, you know, for some stationery and stuff. And yeah, just decorating that as well a little, some books, a vase. What else do I add? Let me see. Yeah, another plant. Yeah, you can never have enough plants, can you? Yeah, and I just added this little doggy on the table as well. Again, I was about to put down some tissues, but I don't use tissue boxes like that. When I use tissues, I use like the little pouches, so that's not very realistic for my home. And yeah, I was waiting to add that deer painting somewhere, because I love, actually in my home I have 2 giant paintings of deer in my tiny little flat. So yeah, I really wanted to use that in there. And now I'm working on the bathroom, and this is probably my favorite room out of the house. I think it turned out really cool. I added like this big plant between the toilet and the sink, and I love it. I know it wouldn't maybe be the most practical thing, but I love it. It just looks so good. And some people might be weirded out by the windows this big in the bathroom, but there you see me. I'm adding some curtains. Plus, this is on like quite an abandoned part of the island, so nobody would even see you. Like that little window right next to the tub, it just like looks out to the sea. There's nobody there who can see you, like maybe a mermaid, okay? And now I'm just adding the lights to the whole build, because like that's the last thing that I always do. I always add lighting last, which is, now that I think about it, probably not the best idea, but that's just how I do it. Yeah, I just mostly use the island living and the tiny living lights. And now I'm moving out to the outdoors. I added a canoe because I thought that looked cool, and I'm like, if I lived in an island, I would like a canoe. And I struggled a bit to pick out the outdoor table, because I love round tables, but in a tiny home, they take up a lot of space. And we don't have any like nice looking round small tables, or at least like we don't have any that I like. So I ended up going for this island living one. I originally thought I would use one with like the painted top, but then it didn't really work with the laundry day chairs, so I just changed it back to like the more neutral swatch. I added another plant outside, because you can never have enough plants. Take a shot every time I say plants in this video. Seriously, it's like a drinking game. This is a family-friendly channel, by the way. Anyways, yeah, it's just adding some blankets as well, you know, for chilly island nights. and some sunscreen because you gotta stay protected. And of course, it's reef safe. I'm not a monster. I use reef safe sunscreen. I thought I would add some lanterns out there, but it just looked silly, so I didn't. And yeah, just a mailbox, a light, and a bin, and that will be it, I think. Oh yeah, and I painted like a little terrain leading up to the house. I know you probably wouldn't have that, but in my mind it just looks better with this build to have like a little pathway, even though it just like cuts off at the edge there. But now we're moving on into the screenshots, so you can take the time to appreciate this little house in full glory. I absolutely love how it looks. It's a tiny house. I love tiny homes, so I would love to live somewhere like this. The painting in the kitchen, the rabbit, the pug, and the cat, that's my favorite, absolute favorite. Yeah, but as I said, I love the bathroom as well. And now we're getting towards the end, so thank you so much for watching the video. Please subscribe if you enjoyed the video, like this video and comment, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Bye!